And we are live. Welcome to another Super Galactic Saturday. I'm Jerry Sr. with Jerry Jr.
Good morning.
And we are experiencing a wonderful, wonderful Saturday morning. A little overcast, but it's still a beautiful day. And any day above ground is a good day. So we are
Amen.
thankful to be here, and we're thankful for you being here with us and joining us today. And we're just here to have a conversation about the things that we enjoy, the things we love in entertainment and comics and even music, right? So thanks for joining us. And we're going to talk about a few things. Definitely going to talk about Superman again, right? But I wanted to look at some trailers. And because
Oh
they
boy.
dropped a new Mortal Kombat trailer.
Excuse me? What?
Yeah, you didn't hear about that?
No, I didn't realize they're making. Okay, is this animated or is this a live action
No,
movie?
it's a live action. It has
Goodness.
oh man, why
Is
I,
this a sequel
Paul
to the last one they made?
Wait, say it again.
Is this a sequel to the last one they made?
I guess so. It's Mortal Kombat 2. So
Is that what it's called? All right.
yeah,
It's
that's
it'll be.
what
To be fair, I saw the because they did a reboot live action one a couple years ago, and I watched it with my brother, and I think we ended up enjoying it. It was a fun movie to watch. Much like the '90s movie, it was
yeah.
campy, but it was still like action packed and cool, which is perfectly fine. It's Mortal Kombat. So I'm curious to what they're gonna do. I never saw the animated one, although I did like the animation
Yeah,
style.
the animated one. I don't even remember the animated one.
Yeah, there was a yeah. Warner Brothers did an animated Mortal
I know.
Kombat
I
movie.
honestly don't.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, I never saw. I only saw the I only saw the Shaggy cameo. That's most I saw of it. But which is that's a whole other can of worms. But yeah, so I'm curious to see what this looks like. I'll be honest, I'm not the biggest Mortal Kombat fan,
Yeah.
and that has a lot to do with my mom. Uh, Mom did not let me play Mortal. Okay, so funny
Yeah.
story, Dad. So Mom didn't like blood, violence, smoke, all that
Right.
stuff,
Right. Yeah.
and so she never let me play Mortal Kombat or Call of Duty or anything like that. So
Right.
one day I'm checking up on her, like as an adult, and I walk into her house and I like drop everything, and I'm like, "Mother, what art thou doing?" And she's sitting on the couch playing Xbox, and she says, "Quiet, boy. I'm trying to beat Mortal Kombat Armageddon." I'm like, "Excuse me, what?" And she's sitting there playing Mortal Kombat
Well, I mean,
Armageddon.
fair, she is an adult. So
Yeah, but she
no,
like made it seem like she just hated the game.
she just didn't want you to be exposed to it so early. That's all. That's all that was. Which is
I
that's a
know, but
so
it's just so
motherly
funny.
instinct, right?
Like I'm not mad.
I mean, I remember
I'm a
once
little
I
mad.
let you play it, and I regretted it because we got to a character. I forgot who it was. Was it Jax? And you were losing, right? Right? And yeah, we were playing as Jax, and you were losing, and something happened. I don't know if you mashed a bunch of buttons, and he
Excuse
pulled
me.
out like some Uzis and started shooting. And
I mean, yeah,
I
that's
was
kind of
like,
what you have to do the
"Yo!"
fatalities.
Yeah, I turned it off. Right? I was like, "Oh, I was not expecting that." I was not expecting.
I don't even remember that. It's funny.
Yeah, it was. Well, you were very young, so
Yeah,
and
that's funny.
that's probably why she was that way. Because I know I was like, yeah, they're not playing this Mortal Kombat game.
I mean, I
It's a
mean,
little
you let
too.
me play well. I mean, we didn't play well, but you let me play Soul Calibur, which is funny.
Yeah, the Soul Calibur is not by
It's
any
not
means
gory.
close
Yeah,
to close to Mortal Kombat. Like not even close. Yeah, so I was like, yeah, this ain't happening. We never played that game again. This is like the old OG, like one of the. I think it wasn't two.
I mean, it would have had to be two or three if
Yeah,
it had Jackson. So I
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. So, but yeah, it was an old game. But I was like, yeah, this can't happen.
that's hilarious.
And then we got Mario. We got Yoshi and all that good stuff. So Yoshi's World, right? And you love that game, and that was fine with me.
This is true. I did like Yoshi's Story.
But
I
yeah,
played it recently. It's actually holds up pretty well.
yeah. Listen, the song's still stuck in my head
That's hilarious.
at
That's
the
funny.
end. 'Cause,
Yeah.
I used to sit there and play it until because you'd get stuck. You'd be like, "Dad, help!" And I'm sitting there like, "I am not a video game
That's
person."
that's what dads are for.
Yeah, apparently that is what I was for because I learned how to play. I mean, I played video games when I was a kid, right? Mainly, I started in I had an Atari, so
Yeah.
pretty early, but I was never a hardcore gamer. So, but with you and your brother, and especially you guys at a very young age was far more into it, like hardcore, like you had to play. And so I had to just figure it out. Like this isn't going away, so I need to just step up and figure it out. And I did eventually, so thankfully. All right, here's Mortal Kombat 2 official trailer. Carl Urban, the guy that plays Billy Butcher in the Boys series.
That makes too much sense.
Yeah, he's well, you'll see. You'll see.
Uno mas, thanks.
You're Johnny Cage. I loved Citizen Cage when I was a kid.
That's not. Never mind.
Thanks,
That
man,
is
I
Johnny
appreciate
Cage.
it.
They should do a reboot.
You do
Nobody wants that. Shit went out in the 90s.
Johnny Cage, you have been chosen to fight.
Tell me you're not some crazy fans. How are you doing that?
Are you coming or what?
Where the hell am I?
This is stupid.
It's called Mortal Kombat. It's a fighting tournament. To the death.
Fuck that.
This is a war for the fate of your world. You dickheads in or what?
I'm not some champion. I don't have transformer arms. Or shoot lightning bolts. This shit's got nothing to do with me. I'm an actor.
I find you annoying.
Not the face.
There's a war going on outside. You could run, but you can't hop forever, ever.
It's time to become the hero you were meant to be. All right, you big ugly fuck. It's showtime.
Get over here!
Oh my god.
Only the strong survive.
Yeah. He did the thing.
Finish him! Are you shitting me? You don't have any powers?
Just incredibly handsome.
Yes, that was indeed Mortal Kombat.
So I don't know. I mean,
So here's a few things.
I never pictured him a Johnny Cage character. So
I think it could work, but here's the thing: he has to do I could see it working, but he has to do Let me just show you what I mean before I say it. He's got to there has to be there wasn't a moment I could see him pulling it off, but the trailer, at least not yet, there was no moment where I was like, okay, that's Johnny Cage. Now
Yeah,
there was a few moments that were funny. Like I could see it. Like he looks the part, and I
yeah,
liked his attitude. But
right.
like
Carl Urban is a great actor. He's been in a lot of great movies. Um, he's played great characters. So it's exciting to see him in this movie. I just never imagined him being a Johnny Cage type character. So it's kind of interesting. But yeah, he can pull it off.
yeah,
You know, but
let me,
yeah,
let me
it's
just show you what I
Johnny
mean.
Cage is supposed to be kind of a pretty boy Hollywood guy, right? And I don't really see Carl Urban as that.
He's a what?
Like pretty boy type. You know?
Oh well, yeah.
Like,
Well, not just that, but here,
more,
let me show you.
he has a more rugged look to him. So
I don't mind that. I don't think that's the problem. But here, also uh, violence warning disclaimer.
yeah, warning, it's Mortal Kombat.
Warning, it's more. Yeah, turn it down. Kill someone with his Oscar, and then he pulls out his finger.
Pull out his merch. That's
That's
what I'm
Johnny
saying.
Cage.
Yeah, that's my point, though, right? But look at him; like he looks like a pretty boy. He's
Yeah.
Mr. Hollywood, and it's like okay, you know, and seeing Carl Urban, it's like, well, I don't see that, but yeah, it's the first trailer. Um,
Like
like they did a
like he's
whole
gotta do something like that.
yeah, and hopefully they're saving that. Maybe they're planning on doing that. They just haven't released it yet, right? So
Yeah.
I'm sure there's got to be some scenes.
But I like his look though. I don't
This
think
is like
I don't
the
think it's
thing
bad
where
casting.
he gets pulled in and everything's kind of over his head, but eventually he's going to come into his own. Obviously,
Hmm.
we'll get that Johnny Cage pulling out his Oscar, whacking a guy. You know what I'm saying? Like he's gonna flip the switch and fight on his terms, right?
Well,
So
you know
that's
what's funny is that it definitely feels like a '90s movie.
it
So
does.
I'm not really I'm not nothing's really upset me. Yeah, I think it's pretty on brand for a Mortal Kombat movie specifically.
Yeah,
So also
yeah,
it looks cool, and that's the important part.
it does. It looks cool. I
You
mean,
know, Scorpion did the thing, and
but
that's what
listen,
we want to see.
uh, I don't know. Mortal
If
Kombat movies don't have a great history, so
that's only half true. The first more everybody listen. Everybody who's a Mortal Kombat fan loves the first Mortal Kombat movie
because
because it's
relative to
cheesy and it's
everything,
awesome, and it
because
had a great
everything that
catch.
came
Well,
after
no, hear me out.
is terrible.
Well, obviously, yeah, the sequel to that movie was terrible.
It was, yeah, but the
Um,
first movie was not great. The
it
first movie,
wasn't great, but it was
but
fun to watch
compared
and it had
to
good
all the
music.
subsequent movies, it's the best movie.
Well, no, the movie that's a sequel to this is arguably a better movie than
I mean, the first one. Well, I don't think it's better than the first one.
uh, yeah,
It's okay.
it's a
No
lot better than the first one.
quality, like production quality, sure, but story,
Yes, the
okay,
story is a lot better.
it's
I
not.
mean, granted, I mean a lot of that has to do with the fact that it's taken more seriously, but
Yeah, they tried to play it straight, which is fine, but I don't know. I still think the first one is the best iteration because they kind of just went all in, right? They did what they could do at the time, right? Visually with the VFX and all that. So I don't know. I don't know. Hopefully this will be great. We'll see.
I think it'll be cool. I think it'll be a fun movie. And
But
Johnny Cage being the main protagonist for the second one just makes sense because he's Johnny Cage.
yeah, I agree with that. That makes perfect sense. So although I'm a Luke Kane guy, but still.
Well, Luke Kane is the hero, which is
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's fine.
he's the Ryu of the series, but Johnny Cage is
For sure. Yeah.
the he's the obligatory American.
Yeah. But he's
Also, he's a
the anti.
movie action star. He's not really an action hero. He's just he's
He's actually
chaotic neutral, if anything.
He's the action star.
Yeah,
But he's the Iron Man, like arrogant, self-centered.
yeah. Well, that doesn't necessarily make him an
But he has a heart
anti-hero.
of gold. He has a heart of gold, right? He's going to do the right thing, no matter what. Right? So, which is fine. That's great. So I like both characters, but
Yeah.
And then moving on, I'm excited just because it looks decent. So I'm hopeful. And
We'll see what happens.
Watch. Yeah.
If you're a Mortal Kombat fan, let us know what you think about the new movie.
Yeah, you excited to see this? Carl Urban, is he a good fit? I think he can pull it off. He's a great actor, so I don't see why not. And the trailer looks pretty cool, But like I said, it does feel a bit jarring because like I said, a Johnny Cage type of personality with Carl Urban just seems a little, especially the character he's been playing before. It's very different.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's very, very. Like, have you seen that movie Red?
No.
He's in that movie. He plays this agent. He's like a CIA agent, right?
Uh-huh.
But he's like a young, kind of rising star agent, and he's trying to capture rogue agents, right? And that's Bruce Willis, whatever. And he's great in that movie. Like his character is really awesome in that movie. And that was like my first exposure to his acting, was seeing him in that movie. And then, I've seen him subsequently, a lot of other stuff, but he was great in that movie. So he's been a great actor for a long time, because that movie's old. That's like 2000s, early 2000s, I think. Something like that.
Gotcha.
So yeah, Carl Urban, he's one of my favorite actors. So he's really good. And Billy Butcher, he's great in The Boys. He really makes the show worth watching. I haven't watched beyond season 2, to be honest, because it's a little much. That's a whole other conversation. So, but he's great as Billy Butcher, hardcore, great actor. So,
Mm-hmm.
And now we're going to talk about Tron Ares, another sequel, I guess. It's not I don't think it's a direct sequel in the sense of, well, maybe it is from the second Tron. So let's take a look.
Since time began, man has gazed at the stars and he has wondered, am I alone? So much talk of AI and big tech today. Virtual worlds, what are they going to look like? When will we get there? Well, folks, we're not going there. They are coming here. I would like you to meet Ares, the ultimate soldier. He's biblically strong, lightning fast, supremely intelligent. And if he is struck down on the battlefield, I will simply make you another.
You think you're in control of this? You're not. What are you?
I'm looking for something. Something I do not understand. Hang on!
A malfunctioning program who wants to live. Why is that?
It's just a feeling.
Fascinating.
Yeah, it's okay.
Man, Morbius 2 looks great.
No, bro. This is not, I know that's the is it Jared Leto, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
That looked awesome.
No, it looks cool. It looks
Yeah,
cool.
that looks pretty sweet.
I'll
So
be honest. So my brother has been making me watch the Tron. Was it Tron?
Uprising.
The TV show. Is that what
Yeah,
it's called?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And I'll be honest, that show's awesome. I really
yeah,
like it,
yeah,
and I'm a little spoiled because I kind of like the aesthetic of that show, and I
yeah.
kind of would rather see an animated
Yeah,
Tron.
I'm the same way. I honestly always wanted Tron to be animated from the original to even this latest movie. Like, I would love to see it just all big budget animated feature because you can do so much more and really have fun with it. And I don't know, I just love animation. So, in my opinion,
Yeah,
it's superior to live action. That's my opinion. I'll die on that hill. I'll fight you for it.
fair
So,
enough.
but yeah, that looks really cool. Visually, it looks awesome. Like, yo, like there's some crazy scenes here. Hopefully, that's not all all the great scenes in the movie. So they tend to overload these trailers. But
Yeah, well, I think the only reason I'm not all that
it's
excited for it is
in there, so that's great. So there's continuity. Like, yeah, it's looking
yeah.
sweet.
I guess the only thing that's really keeping me from being excited for it is I don't know. It feels like I mean we've seen this plot before. This is just Mega Man X for starters. This sort of plot where it's like, yeah, they created this sentient artificial intelligence to be super soldiers, and we lose control of them, and now we gotta fight them. Very Mega Man plot, but also I don't know, like the Tron aesthetic in terms of like technologies always look cool,
Yeah,
but I think and maybe it's just me, but it's sort of like the sort of a John Carter situation where I've seen so many this sort of thing's been iterated so many times to where it doesn't look or feel special anymore. You know,
yeah, I know what you mean. Like, listen, this looks amazing. Like, but yeah, but it doesn't look fresh. Like, where you're like, oh, I've never seen that before. It's like, well,
yeah.
yeah, we've seen all this before
Here's the thing. I don't think
over the years. So
I'm not
yeah, it doesn't
being
feel
derivative isn't a bad thing. I don't. That's not what I'm
well, it's
saying. It's
derivative of
just
itself. So that's fine. I don't have
yeah,
a problem. But I know what you mean. It doesn't feel like when I first saw Tron, the first movie, my eyes popped out of my head when I saw the cycle, cycle races and all that. I was like, yo, that looks amazing, right? Like these.
this is one of those things where I think strong characterization would have come in handy. Because one thing for me is like one thing that usually saves, like even if it feels like, um, well, let me just put it to you this way. Uh, I like Space Dandy. Space Dandy. It's an anime debuted on
Yeah,
Adult Swim. It's a bounty hunter who hunts down aliens in space, and it's pretty much when you look at the show, it's like, oh, this is just Cowboy Bebop, right?
yeah, it definitely has
But
that.
what
Yeah,
makes it neat from Cowboy Bebop um, is that Space Dandy is uh, uh, not nearly as cool as Spike Spiegel, and in a good way. Like
yeah,
he thinks he's cool, but he's a complete dork and
yeah,
he's a complete horn dog. And that characterization does enough to change the dynamic of the show, right? Because with Cowboy Bebop, you're expecting, a sort of noir style sci-fi with cool action scenes starring a cool, edgy character like Spike. But instead, you're getting a complete. Instead of getting John Wick, you're getting Johnny Bravo, and
right. I
that's
understand that.
and
Yeah,
that's funny, right? So I'm just
yeah,
saying, hey, I think trying creating just strong characterization could really save a story from feeling
I
derivative.
agree. And
For me, there's no
listen,
real characters that I attach to in this trailer.
right, but it's
They're
just
all
killer. And
archetypes.
I like Jared Leto. He looks cool. He looks like he's a serious character. Like he's going to be a kind of a badass in this.
Sure,
So if
but
you
what if I'm not a fan of Jared Leto though? Like, what do I have to attach to?
well, hopefully you're already a Tron fan. Like that's kind of the point here. If you're already a Tron fan, you're going to be like, okay, I hope the story's great, right? And Jared Leto looks awesome. Yeah, I mean they brought back Jeff Bridges. He's still in it, right? He's still so yeah. They're maintaining a continuity. So yeah, I think this could be a strong showing. You know, I hope that it is very good. So because like I said, this trailer for especially for Tron, that it really looks amazing, and they're bringing it into the real world, like on a large scale, obviously. So it'll be
Yeah,
interesting to see what the twist is because I'm sure there's going to be a twist, right? So
yeah. I'm
yeah,
not saying the movie's gonna be bad. I'm just saying there's
no, I
nothing
know what you're
really about
saying.
this trailer
The
that hasn't
trailer
sold
is
me on
not
it.
really like hooking you in yet. So
Yeah,
maybe there needs to be a stronger trailer, and hopefully they'll drop. Obviously, they'll drop more trailers. But I think also there's just this sort of distant fanfare for Tron. Does seem like it's a little more niche. And like I'm a fan. I like Tron. I have no issue with Tron. Um, every showing of it has been pretty good or
yeah.
good, you know.
Like,
And
oh, here's the thing. Tron Uprising, I think had really cool character dynamics with, especially like the guy who's like a mechanic. You know, he's really cool. His mentor is awesome. His boss is endearing. He's got that typical, sort of police chief type of boss where he's really hard on him, but he's like a mentor.
yeah,
Um, like he's got strong characterization, and they're pretty. I'm naming pretty uh, typical like story trope characters, but they pull it off pretty well. And so that's what
yeah,
kind of kept me engaged to the story as
yeah.
someone who's not. I think
So
that's
but
important.
you have to watch the story to get that. That's what I'm saying. So in the trailer, a lot of times, especially something like Tron, in my opinion, it's not easy to convey a lot of that with a trailer. Especially
That's
just
true, but
trailer.
I mean they
So
could have picked a moment, but I get what you're saying.
maybe, yeah. I mean, you could arguably say they should have did a better job, like cutting the trailer, right? Like editing or whatever, to help convey more characterization. And yeah, that's fair enough. So, but also it's one of the I think it's the first trailer that dropped. No, it's the second because the first one I think was a teaser. So this is the first like full trailer I think. So they obviously don't want to give away too much, right? And that's what I was saying about like all those big scenes, right, with the cycles and stuff. I hope that's not all, like don't give us all the best stuff just yet, right? So hopefully that's just the tip of the iceberg where it's going to be even more grandiose, right? So yeah, we'll see. I have high hopes. I mean, I haven't been disappointed with any of the Tron films, so you know they've all been pretty good, pretty entertaining. So yeah, I'm hopeful. So we'll see. But yeah, I see what you're saying. It's like, but Tron is very unique too because it kind of in the series it does. It has that um, characterization, right? Where you have an ensemble, you have your different character types that come together, right? But that's easier to do in a series because you got more time to spread it out versus in a movie, right? So that'll be interesting to see. I mean, that's kind of what made Guardians of the Galaxy very unique is because James Gunn managed to pull that off
Yeah,
in like the first trailer, right? You saw them work; they're all arrested, and they do the lineup, right?
right.
It was like that was brilliant because you got a sense of each character based on that.
Yeah,
Right?
well, I think that's really important. I think with
Yeah, I
any,
agree. He did that very well, and I think that's one of the reasons why. Because these were unknown characters,
hmm
right? Like in the mainstream, like no one really heard of any of these characters, right? And
I didn't know what Guardians of the Galaxy was.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, and yet it did so well and got 3 movies out of it. So,
Yeah,
speaking of James Gunn, wanted to talk about Superman, of course. Um, And I want to start it off with this because this kind of jumped out at me because I'm kind of in this frame too. I saw the movie. We both saw the movie last week and everything, and we talked about it a little bit, and we both liked the movie generally. Overall, it was a good movie. But then this scene, it was like an extra scene at the end, end credits, whatever. And she's like, "What the hell?" You know, she's like drunk basically, and then you can read what it says. And I gotta admit, for me, that was like, oh, that kind of took me out. I was like, oh, okay, like I'm not feeling this at all. And I'm not the only one actually. So,
I
which
mean,
is
I
why,
didn't think you were. I mean, I, I laughed, but it was still kind of weird. It was like, okay, it's kind of, it felt more random than anything, you
yeah,
know.
it was kind of out of nowhere. And I don't know, I haven't read a lot of Supergirl comics to be honest. I've only really know Supergirl from her appearances on television, right? So the TV show, the
I
live
mean,
action
she doesn't
show.
act like
Oh, I
this
saw the
in the
movie. Yeah,
comics that I
the
read.
movie, and obviously the Bruce Timm animated, Superman, and then Justice League series, so animated series. So that was my exposure to Supergirl, and she was nothing like this person. So
Hmm.
and that was so it was a bit jarring for me. I'm like, okay, so Supergirl is a teenager, she gets drunk, and she calls Superman, you know, the B word. Right? Let's keep it PG. And it's kind of
Yeah.
like, yeah, why is this happening, right? Especially our first introduction, like kind of officially, right? Because when was the last Supergirl movie? That was like the 80s or early 90s, right?
It was
Um,
the
and
80s.
then we had the series, right? And even in that series, she was, as from what I recall, I only saw the first two seasons. She was nothing like this. Like she wasn't some drunk girl getting, partying all the time. Like she was, you know, kind of a straight arrow. So yeah, this was a little surprising, I guess, out of nowhere, unexpected, jarring, I would even say. And yeah, a lot of people didn't like it. Um, and this guy is saying if you don't have a problem with this, then you're not a real Supergirl fan, which I wouldn't say that.
Who said that?
That's what the poster is saying here.
Oh, I can't even see it.
Oh, it's cut off. Sorry. Yeah, let me do this.
Who wants to see more?
Yeah. So, yeah. We thought it
Oh,
was,
okay.
and I would say it's dumb, but I do say it's a bit tone deaf. It's a. I think something like this should happen later, right after you've done an actual Supergirl movie and you've introduced her, and we're like, we know who she is, like her character.
Yeah.
So when we see something like this, it's like, of course, that's Supergirl, right?
Yeah.
Versus we're like, oh, so this is Supergirl. You know
Yeah.
what I
Yeah.
mean? It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
huh? It's the same. It's the same criticism I gave about the beginning, where he shows Superman just crashing, basically losing a battle, crashing to Earth, right? And he's beat up, bloodied, injured.
I think if you wanted to show that Supergirl was a little less responsible than Superman, I feel like there was a million other ways you could have
Yeah,
done it.
there's far better ways to kind of do. I understand she's supposed to be, at least in the continuity that I'm familiar with. And like I said, that's basically in the animated series. She's like a teenager. She's
Yeah.
high
That's
school age, so she's coming of age. She's maturing. Then eventually, she's kind of, I think, more college age, right? In the later seasons, and even in the live action, I think she was probably college age, like you would consider her maybe fresh out of college, starting her career, type of thing. And so, but drunk party girl was never part of that persona, right? At least not as a character trait, more like an incidental plot point, right? And that's
yeah.
kind of what I'm saying. It's like when you introduce your character in the worst state possible, right, of that for that character, what it's like, what are you actually signaling to those who are watching? What message are you telling people? Oh, this character is awful, but they'll eventually do good things, I guess, but they'll still be awful. Or you understand, especially when it's
Yeah.
something that, like showing Superman beat up. was like, well, okay, he lost the battle, right, against this powerful enemy. And like I said, my criticism was, well, it would have been better to do a montage that leads up to that, showing him win a lot of battles, right? Because now there's a real feeling of loss, right? Because you're seeing him win against powerful foes or whatever, or maybe nature itself, right? Like stopping tidal waves or something. I don't know,
Yeah.
And then he faces this villain who's mysterious at first, right? Because we don't know who it is. We don't know yet, right? And he loses. It's like, whoa, okay, who is this guy? And now we're guessing, like, oh, who is this? Brainiac? Is it this guy, right? And then you start the movie, and it's like, okay, we want him to win, right? We want him to
Yeah.
win,
So real
and
quick, one of the comics, Nico Bellic mentioned there's a big plot hole in Superman. Why couldn't Superman, with his X-ray vision, see Ultraman's face? Should have known that Ultraman is his clone. I'll bring that up because we were talking about what's his name.
yeah, that's a fair question.
I
Uh,
mean, I get it. I think
Honestly, I assumed he was wearing like a lead
the
line
suit,
suit.
yeah,
Yeah, that's what I was. I mean,
yeah.
right. I don't think
But
that was.
they never like
Yeah,
made
that was
that
yeah,
apparent.
point. Yeah. So, but that's kind of what I deduced. Oh, he's in some kind of because I figured that was the purpose of the suit is
Yeah, right.
to just mask his identity, but to kind of shield him from X-ray vision. Because remember he was also in the armored suit, which
Yeah,
was probably some kind of lead based suit also. So who knows? Or it was just he was wearing the lead based suit inside the armor. Either way, I kind of figured that was something, you know. But you're right. It's like it relied heavily on your own knowledge of Superman lore, where
yeah,
you already know, oh, he can't see through lead. Maybe it's lead, right?
yeah,
So it's like you got to give the movie a lot of grace, right? Because he doesn't explain everything, right? I think he kind of gambles on the fact that most people will know certain things about Superman because Superman is iconic, right? The same goes for Batman, right? They kind of do a lot of the same. Although with Batman, they always rehash his origins, right? But in this case, he did not rehash the origins, which I don't necessarily have an issue with. Like I said, my thing was just the setup and the payoff of it. It was kind of, in my opinion, was missing for that particular beginning. But yeah, with this one, I feel the same. He didn't really set it up, so it's like we're getting a payoff without the setup, right?
yeah.
Oh, Supergirl.
I mean, I'll be honest. I none of that small stuff really affected my enjoyment of the movie. I mean, I think it's a fair criticism. My general take is that I said this earlier is that I could see this being someone's favorite movie, but also being someone's least favorite for
Yeah,
both for
at the
valid
same time.
reasons.
Yeah.
But at the same time, though, I think that uh, what the movie does right has a huge impact on what a lot of people, comic book fans, especially Superman fans, want out of a Superman movie. Um, and it has a lot to do with the context of Superman's character. One of my favorite things that became really popular is the Starman edits. You know, David Bowie's Starman.
We'll say it again.
You know about David. You know David Bowie's song Starman, right?
Yes.
So you know about the Superman Starman edits.
No, I don't.
You don't? Okay, hold on a second. It's literally it's some of the most wholesome memes you're gonna see on the internet.
Okay.
Second. Literally, it's literally it's something that I've been talking about with people because I had to actually. What's funny is that I had a discussion yesterday, college class, with my instructor and his assistant because I was sharing a fantastic dimension with him, and he had mentioned like he had asked me a question about like what kind of hero is he? Oh, is he like a reluctant hero? Does he have like is he just a hero because for the sake of preserving his own existence or whatever? Basically, he was asking if he was like a morally good hero. And I was like, just straight up, I was like, no, we're not doing any of that. He's going to be a traditional hero, or at least his journey is him turning into a traditional hero who believes in truth, justice, liberty for all sentient people. And we got into a discussion about Superman and how he didn't. I think one of them mentioned that he didn't feel Superman was relevant because he was this indestructible white man and stuff
Mm.
like that. And
Your audio is kind of cutting out.
can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't know how much you heard, but basically, after I was talking to them about Fantastic Dimension, because they wanted to know what kind of superhero Alpha Tron was,
Correct.
and I was like, well, he's someone who his story arc involves him becoming a traditional superhero. Because he was talking about like, oh, is he like he was basically asking if he was like a reluctant hero or if he was like morally gray and stuff like that.
Right.
I was like, no, we're not doing any of that stuff. And
Yeah, he's not a reluctant hero. He's an eager hero.
yeah,
That needs
and
discipline and
yeah, well, that's what his journey has become. That, and we got into a discussion about Superman, and one of them felt like he wasn't relevant. And one of the points he brought up was that like, oh, well, he's like this indestructible white man, stuff like that. And it was a pretty interesting conversation because a lot of the a lot of what their justification was is that they had a hard time. It felt like from based off of the things they said, they had a hard time with. They didn't feel like a hero that believed in absolute good was relevant to the modern age. That's kind of the general sense that I got from
So
what
they're
they're telling me.
they're Superman versus the elite kind of situation, right? Where
Yeah,
man is considered lame and he doesn't go far enough. He's not.
well, it's not that it's lame. I don't think they're comic book people. It was just like they were like, oh well, real life problems can't be solved with brute strength and stuff like that.
Yeah,
And
but
I told
Superman
them that.
isn't real.
Well, I know that. I told them that, but
Yeah,
I
funny that comment. Like people,
well I
people
mentioned
do
they
that.
seemed more fixated on Superman's powers more so than his character. The whole point
Yeah,
is that he's a character, and one of them was like, "Oh well, if you take away Superman's power, he's just a regular guy who has 95, right? Like, what's the point?" And it's like the point is that even without his powers, he still does what he can to do the absolute good for people.
right, and that's the whole point.
Yeah,
His character would drive him to still do what's good, what's right.
yeah,
Exactly,
and
because
I
regardless of power, what makes power, useful is the character of the man. What makes power dangerous is the character of the man, right? I mean, we see it in politics, right? People elect certain people based on what they believe. Oh, this guy will get it done, and he fits into my moral perspective. And even if you're giving them leeway, right? You're forgiving certain things. You're still saying this person fits into my brand of worldview as a morally acceptable person, right?
right,
And so they're going to do what I believe fits into my moral expectations, right? Moral, ethical, etc.
right,
It's like you want to give them power because you think they'll wield the power in the manner that you see fit, and that's the entire point of Superman. It's the phrase, power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely, right?
right,
And with Superman says no, it doesn't. It doesn't have to if we choose to be good moral beings, right? Power
right,
doesn't have to corrupt you if you choose to not to let it corrupt you. If you choose to use it responsibly, right? And even in
right,
with a sense of benevolence, right? then power doesn't have to corrupt. Power can save lives. Power can make the world better. Right? That's literally it. That's the point. And it's Spider-Man. With great power comes what? Great responsibility, right? I mean, it's like the fact that people miss that, and part of the reason why they do is because of this pervasion of cynicism, right? Where it's like, well, there's no perfect people. No
Right.
doubt, there's never been. It's like when people say he's like, it's not realistic, his power set and the fact that he would. It's like, yeah, but you realize, like, people have never been perfect, right? Like even when Superman was created, right? He was created by imperfect people, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's never been the lesson is that somehow we can be Superman, we can be perfect and morally perfect all the time, and that's not the point, right? The point is, oh, here's a character that's aspirational. We can at least try to be good people, right? That's it, you know.
Yeah. Well, I mentioned all that to preface so I could show you this meme.
Yeah, go ahead.
So yeah, if you see it, if I woke up with Superman's powers.
There's a starman waiting in the sky. He'd like to come and meet us, but he thinks he'd blow our minds. There's a starman waiting in the sky. He's chosen not to blow it, 'cause he knows it's always what he told me.
And there's that quote again. Dreams save us, dreams lift us, transform us, and on my soul I swear until my dream of a world of dignity, honor, and justice becomes the reality we all share. I'll never stop fighting ever. That's how great that movie is.
Yeah.
Yeah. 7-year-old me admires how powerful Superman is. Me now admires how kind Superman is.
Yeah.
Oh,
our guest has arrived. I'm gonna let him in. Okay.
Nice. Just in time too.
Welcome, Ashton.
What's up, guys? Yeah, I'm at work, so
Okay.
Oh, no worries. Thanks for your time, man. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good.
Awesome. Glad you can make it, man.
Yeah, you came just in time. We were just talking about the
your
Superman movie and sharing some of my favorite Superman memes. You know about the Starman edit?
Yes.
Yeah. Which one's one of your favorites? If you've seen any? Hello?
Yeah, all right. Perfect. All right. Perfect. I'm on my headphones. Yeah. All right. So, what was the question?
I was saying, you know about the Starman meme, right?
No, I don't.
You don't? Oh yeah, let me play it again. It's one of these. It's the I don't know if you could see the screen. If I woke up with Superman's powers, right?
Oh yes, yes, yeah. Yes, I've seen this. Yes, I've seen this.
Yeah. Normalize being a good person. Holy cow.
Being good for goodness sake, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's a lot like that. Another one of my favorites is it's actually, here we go. It's like it's one of these. It's really just a dad.
Yeah, I like that.
Saving his kids.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Okay.
And there's a lot of cool stuff like that.
I liked it a lot. I mean, the Superman movie, man. I told people.
Tell us what you think. Tell us. I know you like it, but tell us. Yeah.
Okay, so
you're a hardcore fan, man. So yeah.
I'm a big comic book fan. I've been reading comics since I was like 16. I'm 30 now. I kind of, I guess, recently got into the whole genre. But Superman is one of my favorite DC superheroes. He's not my favorite. That honor goes to Nightwing. But
okay, nice.
But the movie, to me,
Don't leave us in anticipation.
You can say it.
Okay, perfect. All right. The movie to me, I had to clock out for lunch. It
Oh
did
no,
so
you're
much
good.
right. It did so much right. And I was telling people, like, yes, we know in press tours they gotta like say certain things that may come off as controversial. And I know people for some reason have an issue with James Gunn, but no one can tell me who they would have direct the Superman movie or who they would have write it or anything like that. And everybody's like, oh, James Gunn doesn't understand honestness because he's a part of Hollywood or whatever. And I'm like, here's the thing, guys. I've told people this many, many times. What adaptation are you trying to pull from? Because
Mhm.
comics have been out way before me, you, or anyone have existed. And there have been so many different takes that have been both positive and negative on Superman's origin.
Right.
And there's just so many there will never be comic book accuracy because the comics themselves aren't accurate at all. They change every couple years or so.
Yeah, that's true.
And James Gunn, to me, yes, I know the origin thing that they did with his parents is a little iffy amongst people, but I'll be honest with you, I have no issue with it because to me, the elves are a plot device. They represent
Yeah.
Their
I,
whole purpose is to send him to our planet and they don't know that Clark or Superman is going to be able to like help the people. Yes, they think he is, but he can very well, if the writers wanted to, they could have made him a dictator. They could have made him a ruler,
so you bring up a
and
good point, and I brought that, and I agree with you because I brought that up last time. Where the reality is that elves, it's the whole Guardians of the Galaxy thing, where it's like I may not be your father, but I share my daddy. Where it's like
right
the
and
elves
right.
aren't Clark's parents, the Kents are.
That's what I'm saying. And don't get
Yeah,
me wrong, Superman does care about his Kryptonian heritage, but he is human. At
yeah,
the end of the day, he is human. Yes, he is an alien, but he's human. Regardless of if people want to say, "Oh, he's an alien," though, right? But he has adopted our ways. He helps us try to be better. He helps us try to be who we're meant to be. We are a failed species. We kill, we do so many messed up things, but Superman reminds us every single day to be better, to help a neighbor, to just be a good person. And that to me is what the movie did a great job. I know a
well,
lot of people want
it's
to
funny about what you said about being a failed species, but Superman is who he is because of human values, right?
exactly
The American values. So
correct. Right.
it's not that we fail because we're um, right. The failure doesn't come from us. Failure comes from us losing our values, not necessarily, I guess, as a species. Man is there to remind us what we should value. Does that make
Right.
sense?
No, it does. We should value American values. But again, that's a tricky subject nowadays because people view America in such a different light than they did back in the 60s, 70s, 80s, whatever. It's different and Superman reflects the changing of the time. Unfortunately, people need to realize that times change. Now, Superman shouldn't change with the times, but he should adapt to the times, if that makes sense. Like Captain America. Captain America, again, he's very by the books, he's very old school, old ways, but he
Yeah.
has taken some modern things into his how can I put this? He has taken some modern liberties into his everyday life. You know, he uses tactics and skills that he didn't use back in the day. Um, his way of speaking is very some can be sometimes how we talk nowadays. He views the world differently, just like Superman. The movie to me, that ending, that moment where he tells Lex and gives that speech, who he is and what, and it's such a powerful moment because it's not. Yes, people may say, "Oh, it's him talking to the audience. This feels very shoehorned." I'm like, no, this is a message that everyone needs to hear. You know, not just Lex, not just everyone. And while yes, the people of Metropolis should have heard it, they didn't need to because his actions, despite what they thought about him, he still came back and saved them while Lex was willing to let them die.
Right.
Superman saved them. When he saves that woman from being crushed by that building, that woman knows, hey, he's not bad, and he starts saving people. Like,
Yeah.
and I know people want to rag, oh, this is basically just Guardians of the Galaxy with Superman, but no, the Justice Gang was used perfectly, in my opinion. And I like that they're there to help him. He inspired them because they weren't going to do anything. They weren't
Right.
going to do anything. They literally told Lois, yeah, it's not our problem. We're not going to do anything. But then they see what happens. They're
Right.
watching the TV. They see that little boy pull up that flag, and they're like, man, he really cares about Superman.
Right.
And
No, I agree. I think that was a great moment. The one
that
thing
was
that
a,
I will, I guess, push back on is Superman's speech. Not because it was inherently bad, but I think the lesson of his greatest strength being human, as if I guess it's, and this goes into a whole, deeper conversation. And I think Dad, you brought up earlier when we talked about it, where being human is a sort of a moral triumph, right? Because Lex Luthor is human, but he's also a bad person, right? So it's like
absolutely
it's not like his greatest strength is his character, but it's not because he's human. It's because he was raised with humans with good morals, right? And I
Yeah,
think,
right.
yeah.
yeah,
Right. So I get that, but I also feel like, but again, I think it works because Superman Clark is technically he's more human than he is Kryptonian. In many different adaptations,
that's fair. Yeah.
Kryptonians have come. Like, okay, so I'm
Oh yeah.
currently
So I
reading.
brought that. Oh, which one are you
I'm
reading? Tell me.
I'm currently reading the new Krypton story, and there's a moment where like he's talking to Kara's parents, and I think like his dad goes, "Why do you want us to be less Kryptonian?" And the mom is very anti-human because she sees us
Can you
as
still
Oh,
like
hear?
insignificant and messed up. Other Kryptonians will
Did we
not
lose him?
will not like be like us. And it's
yeah,
and that's the thing.
Sounds like we
Superman,
lost him.
unfortunately, he's assimilated.
Maybe it's
He's
his
human.
reception or
Like
something. I don't know.
right.
Can you hear me?
he's oh wait,
No,
huh?
I couldn't hear you.
Hello?
Yeah,
Yeah, what's up?
you were speaking kind of
Something's
low.
going on.
What's up?
Oh, he's just got to fix his mic. But I did want
Okay.
to comment on is that the one where Superman manages to fix the city of Kandor, the Bio City
Mm-hmm.
of Kandor? Okay, yeah. So I literally brought up that same comic
Can
book
you guys hear
last
me?
week. Yeah, we
Yeah.
can hear you. Can you hear us?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. I'll help him. I'm helping him right now. But anyways, so yeah, I brought up that same comic, but a different scene, uh, where there was two Kryptonians who witness a car accident, and everybody's
Mm-hmm.
waiting for them to help them, and they don't. They fly away. It's like, oh man, these guys suck, and they just
Right.
fly off. You know what I'm saying? Um, and it's like, yeah, it's like at every time when Superman has to interact with other Kryptonians, the Kryptonians view humans as lesser beings because
Right.
they don't have Superman's values, and this is what I always try to explain to
All right.
people.
I
Because
can hear me, but I can't hear you for some reason.
yeah,
Just proceed. Keep talking though.
you're good. So right, because it's like because I had a conversation with some people at
Thanks, Ashton.
my
I can't hear you
college.
guys though, unfortunately.
No worries.
It's okay. But yeah, like, and it's funny how people want to be like, oh, they're just like the Saiyans, or they're just like the Viltrumites. And I'm like, guys, that scene that James Gunn did, that's way before like
Well,
the
it's it's
Viltrumites.
it's it's the John Carter problem. I
Yeah,
mentioned this earlier, where it's like it's become so derivative that everything feels
the
like
same.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
And that's the thing. Like I know people want to be like, oh, Christopher Reeves, Christopher Reeves, Christopher Reeves. Look, I love Christopher Reeves more than the next guy. I think he did a great job as Superman. But here's the thing about Christopher Reeves. I will look, that movie was to me, that movie's good until the ending. I hate the ending of that movie.
Are
And
you
I
talking
understand
about
that.
the Earth spinning thing?
Yes, I hate that. I hate that because I hate it because like it's so I get it. It's the times though they were coming up with whatever Superman can do. I get it, but I hate it because it undermines the important lesson that Clark can't save everyone. And
No,
I
I
understand
agree.
that, and
I agree.
I understand that. Yes, that was a thing before all that, but that's the one that's like an issue I have with that movie. And I know people want to say, "Oh, they did what they could for what was
So
done with
I
the
think that
time."
was more of an issue of because remember they were filming like Superman 1 and 2 at the same time, and they were
Mhm.
like, "Oh, well, we can't kill Lois Lane because she's got to be in the second movie." So I think they got too over. They were doing too much at once, and they kind of wrote themselves in a corner. I'm not excusing it. I'm just giving it context because even though I as a kid I thought it was cool, yeah, it does undermine the whole message of the movie,
Right.
right?
It undermines that, but not just that. Not just that, but like I'm so sick and tired of people going, "Oh, I don't want to see it because I have my version of Superman. I don't want to see it." But then if you don't want to see the movie, if you don't if you don't want to see it, if you don't want to support it, if you don't want it to do good, why talk about it? Why bring it up? If you're fine with staying in the past, that's okay. I mean, great. You're old, you're staying in the past, you're stuck in your ways, you don't like different I'm all for a different take on any character. Like,
I don't think the
like
problem. Good.
I'm all for a different take on any character, but it has to, how can I put this? It has to retain what made that character special for me. Like, for example,
Right. So
the
exactly. So the thing is
so
that
like
a lot of
like
people.
like for no I mean to cut you off, but for
You
example,
good. You good.
the absolute universe. So the absolute universe is different takes on the characters, but in the absolute universe, Superman is still Superman. He still helps people, and I'm like, okay, if that core value of him helping people and just being a good person is there, then you've done your job. Everything else is different, but he still has those core values. Same with Wonder Woman. Same with Batman. To me, a superhero should help people. And I understand that people want to go back to the whole good versus evil, right makes right, all that other stuff. But my whole thing is that I believe that personally, I believe that like I'm all for the moral gray type characters, but not like all the time. I don't mind your I'm Mr. Tickle something and I'm going to tickle the world to death because they stole my money when I was a kid or I got bullied or whatever. Like whatever dumb like thing that people want to do. I'm fine with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah. Yeah.
I've read so many type of comics and so many type of like manga and webtoons and all that where the villains are evil, but I'm the type of person that, like, at the end of the day, I'm the type of person like if I can if not sympathize, but if I can understand where the villain's coming from, I feel like you've made a great job of making a really good villain. Because again,
Yeah.
Heath Ledger's Joker is literally he's a villain, but he's also like a morally gray type villain. Yes, he's the Joker. Yes, he's evil, but what he's saying isn't really necessarily wrong half the time. Same with Killmonger. I feel like the reason why people love Black Panther is because what Killmonger was saying has some truth behind it, but his method about going about things was the problem. Like, yes, we get what they did to us was wrong.
Hmm.
It's your method about how you do things is messed up. I mean, even the High Evolutionary in Guardians 3, I was like, bro, like this guy, to me, he was evil. He doesn't even get talked about enough
Oh
when it
yeah.
comes to like villains. Like the one scene that solidified him as like one of the best MCU villains that no one talks about is when the chick goes, "Sire, you have a obsession with this animal. For God's sakes, listen to yourself." He's like, "There is no God. That's why I had to step in." Like right there, I was like, "Okay, this is perfect. Like this is how you make someone evil, but this is how you also kind of go, oh, he's a perfectionist. His
Yeah.
whole
Yeah.
goal is to get the perfect creature." And that's why I got with Lex. Like people want to say, oh, they love like these versions of Lex Luthor. Well, Lex in the movie to me felt like a high evolutionary. Like
I agree.
the man, like, and then people like, oh, his plan didn't make sense. I'm like, guys, they literally. This is why I tell people that media literacy is dead because no one is paying attention to what they're
Yes.
watching.
It wasn't. It
No,
wasn't that deep. I mean, it was pretty
like
straightforward, in my opinion.
he literally did everything just to have an excuse to go after Superman. He didn't even want that type of territory. He did a classic Lex Luthor plot to
Can
just
you
go
guys hear me?
after Superman.
Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
thanks. Sorry about the technicality, but I
no, you
agree.
good.
Lex Luthor was one of my favorite characters in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
And he made me, you said high evolutionary, which is interesting. He made me think of the Lex Luthor from All Star Superman.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And because I felt like that's what he was more in line with that sort of egomaniacal, like it was just about taking out Superman.
Right.
I need to get him out of my way so I can do what I want to do. So I can be the hero of Earth. I can be the
Right.
And it's funny. And it's funny how everybody's like, "Oh, he starts crying at the end." Yes, because you have to look at it from
Because
his
he's a
perspective.
psychopath.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's frustrated. He's frustrated.
Not even the psychopath thing. Yes, he's frustrated, but he's also just like, bro, after everything I've done for them,
Right.
after proving to them that this man is a monster, they still chose him
Exactly.
over me.
Yeah.
Why I would feel some type of way because it's like I did all of this.
Because in his mind, he is the greatest human on the planet.
Right.
He really believes that because he's brilliant, he's wealthy, he has power, he sees things, he's done things no one else has done. Right? Like in this iteration, he created this wormhole that allows him to
created a
teleport
parallel universe
around the world. Yeah, parallel. It's like it's wild, but it's like, yeah, this guy is brilliant, and he knows he's brilliant, and he knows he's probably the smartest guy on the planet. But he's so obsessed. Like that's the flaw. Like you have the brilliance, but then there's this flaw, right? And it's Superman. It's this jealousy. It's this resentment, right? It's like I've done all these things. I haven't gotten the accolades that Superman gets. Why?
Exactly.
Well, you're not helping people. You're using your power, right, for
selfishly
selfish gain.
For selfish gain.
His power to make the world better.
And that is why I compared in my review. I compared him to the animated series Lex Luthor.
Yeah,
I compared him to the. I compared
on comparison. Yeah.
I compared him to the
just to piss Superman off.
I compared him. I compared him to Michael Rosenbaum in Smallville.
Yeah.
And I also compared him to comic book Lex Luthor, and not just comic book Lex Luthor, just any version of Lex, because people want to say that, oh yeah, comics are very like inconsistent. I feel like certain characters kind of still stay the same in a way.
Yeah.
And I feel like Lex is one of those characters. Like throughout every iteration, he's the same in every way. I mean,
when he's good, he's still brilliant. Right?
Exactly. And I had no issue with Crypto. I thought Crypto was great.
Yeah, they too. It was the first time seeing Crypto in a live action movie. It was awesome. Crypto was
adorable.
Yeah.
And I love David's performance as Superman. I will say, like, my only issue and the reason why I don't give the movie like a 9.5 or a 10, I wish we got to see more of his Clark. But I will say the character that to me that stood out the most, and I know it's like not really on anybody's radar, is Jimmy. I love this iteration. I think this is the best. This is to me. This is the best version. This is the best version of Jimmy Olsen.
He's just a guy. He's
just exactly like he's not
ambitious guy. He's not just he's like he's based. Like it's like, yo, this guy, yeah. I mean, he was great. And listen, my favorite, right, out of all the characters, even Superman, all right, good or bad, however you want to take it, was Mr. Terrific.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Terrific. The scene when they arrived to the little compound and that was totally classic James Gunn touch, right? But it was probably one of the best iterations I've seen of Mr. Terrific. Even in the animated series, he was there, but we never got like a scene like that where he's just cutting loose.
Yeah.
and that was
Not
awesome.
just that, but no rap music. Can you believe it?
Right.
I
Oh
Like-
my God! Thank you, James Gunn, for not, you know, relegating him to a stereotype. I
and
appreciate
I mean, heck, I freaking loved Metamorpho for like the
it.
time
Yeah,
that he
Metamorpho.
had.
Pretty cool.
You
Yeah,
know,
that
guy
enough
like
time, in my
was
opinion. I
nuts.
kind of wish he had more time. But yeah,
like
Metamorpho.
Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner. I love Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner. I was like, dude,
Yeah,
this
his
guy.
performance was great. I wish
His,
he was more. I don't know.
Yeah, the costume could have been better, but I
Yeah, I
think
don't know.
so
Something
so
overall,
about
so
those
here's
costumes.
the thing. Those costumes I have no issue with because you can tell that they're just like, okay, we're part of like a team, but not really. Like it's more of a brand. It's more of a branding initiative.
Well,
Like,
yeah, yeah, I
you
agree.
know, and that's how I kind of like
mhm.
see it as like he's gonna get his classic suit and like, you know, I mean he's gonna be in lanterns. We're gonna see that. I think like that's gonna be really interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just a lot of things that we have to look forward to. And I know the one controversial thing that's been I've had to like really get people to understand is the Supergirl thing where she shows up and then she's like later, bitch, and all this other stuff. And I'm just like, bro, you could tell the people who don't read because one dude was basically like, "Oh, this doesn't make sense because like she's Kryptonian and she came to Earth, and shouldn't she like not be drunk anymore because of this?"
Oh well, I feel like small minutia like that really isn't important. I think my personal issue with it, and to be fair, I was laughing when it showed up, but it was still weird because it felt like I, cause I mentioned this earlier, where I get that they were trying to emphasize the fact that
Okay,
Supergirl a lot. You there?
yeah, yeah. So what I was saying is I had
Oh, okay.
yeah, sorry. What I was saying is like it's crazy how people just you can tell the ones who don't read like DC or Supergirl or really anything that much because it's like, bro, they're like, oh, this is stupid. This is so inconsistent because like the sun's supposed to heal them, and she's just like on Earth. Shouldn't she be like not
I
drunk?
mean,
And
none of that stuff really matters.
well,
Well,
I had to.
yeah,
I mean, like,
my take with it wasn't that she shouldn't be drunk on Earth. It's just if you're introducing the character, I didn't like how she was introduced. And for
I'm
me,
okay.
my
So like,
familiarity with Supergirl is mainly from television,
so
and
like, okay,
so
I
that's
get that.
for me that was
I get
jarring
that.
to see.
So for
Like, oh,
me, for
okay,
for me, I guess because like I read the story that I know it's based off of, but I
Mhm.
was also kind of
yeah,
like,
that's what I figured. Yeah.
I don't hate this introduction, and the reason why is because in a lot of iterations, Kara has always been that. Oh, I don't really like to follow the rules. I basically
No,
like
I agree
Oh yeah,
exactly. Yeah, yeah.
she's very like she's super
Just
and
like
look, I like
Batman
I
Superman Apocalypse. She's totally
right.
that character. Yeah.
I mean, look, like you see, like what she literally has Clark buy her, and I'm like, girl, you are a teenager, and you're about to dress her like this, girl. What the hell is wrong with you? Like, no, like
yeah, yeah.
not just that, but like I think it's a good introduction because it shows that hey, these two are very different
Yeah,
tonally,
polar ops. Yeah.
and and I like that because I'm like, okay, this is cool, this is interesting. But what matters is that she has the heart and the values that her cousin instilled in her. 'Cause at the end of the day, Supergirl, if the story that's being based off of, it is about her dealing with the trauma of what happened to Krypton. She's still dealing with that. So in her mind, she's like, well, might as well just drink my problems away and do
Well,
all this other
I
stuff.
can agree with that, but I'm thinking in terms of just the intro. I
No,
would
I
like
get it.
I
Like
would like to
it was
see I would like to see that scene later on. You know,
no, I
versus
get it.
as a first because this is kicking off a whole new thing for DC.
Right,
So that's
right.
how
Of
I'm
course,
looking
of
at it.
course.
I'm like, I'd rather lead with something else versus drunk Supergirl calling Clark a bitch. Like it's like okay, I get what's happening, but I'm like, I would have preferred something else. And
No,
insofar as an introduction to Supergirl, it doesn't even have to be her being heroic. It could be a personality conflict. But I'm like, I don't know, that's a little much. But I'm hoping that when they do her movie, they'll set that up real nice so that it makes sense in retrospect, right?
No, like I get that too. I get that
Because
too.
not
Like
everybody's
again,
reading the comics, and like I haven't read the comics. Like I said, my knowledge of Supergirl is Bruce Timm animated Superman animated series, Justice League
Yeah.
Unlimited, the
oh
Supergirl,
no, same. Like same. No, like I've that's
big
my
'80s Supergirl movie. Like that's it. You know,
so like
so I
that's
know
my
there's
introduction.
yeah, I know there's different
That
iterations. So I'm not criticizing that she's drunk, but I'm like, when you're going to introduce a character to an audience that is mostly familiar with a certain version,
type of character, right?
yeah,
No, I
you
get
gotta,
it.
that's so it's really a criticism of James Gunn's choices. But I'm hoping, even with doing the whole Jor-El being, I guess, eugenicist, like wanting Clark to, kind of take over Earth instead of just help Earth. I don't mind it if it's sets up something
So
bigger, or
right.
eventually he kind of reverses it in another movie, right? Where it's like, oh, it
And
was
he and he and he and he might, because I will say
yeah. I
that
hope so.
does
I
that
hope he
does
does. To be
that
honest,
that does bring up an issue, because it's like if it's been 3 years and you've known your cousin for that time, why did she
right?
never tell you
Exactly. Yeah.
about
It's a big
about
loophole.
this?
Yeah, it's a
It
big
Right.
is,
loophole.
but at the
Potentially,
same
unless she's
but
gonna co-sign it and like, yeah,
but at the
I didn't have the
same
heart to tell you, something
but at
like
the same yeah, no, at the same time, like I could see her being like, I'm still dealing with what happened with Krypton. I don't want to have to be reminded of what happened with your parents and all this other stuff.
yeah,
And
right,
so like she's suppressing so much trauma. But again,
right.
we
That's
haven't
possible.
seen and we haven't like seen the movie just yet. So that's another thing. I'm a type of person that's like, I'm a wait and see type of person. I'm not the
Yeah,
person
that's
that's like, oh, I have like a fear of missing out, as some people may say. I'm the type of person that, like, if I'm gonna go watch a movie, like I'm gonna go see Fantastic Four, because I
Mhm.
want to, I don't want to listen to no reviews. I don't want to listen to people saying it's woke or whatever dumb, stupid stuff that people say nowadays. I want to go see it,
Yeah.
take an evaluation of everything I've seen, and then come back and go, okay, I like certain things. I didn't like this. I want to really like take it all in and really understand what the director and what
Uh-oh.
Are you there?
But yeah,
Oh,
I get what he's saying. He just cut off a little bit.
I thought it was me.
No, it wasn't.
Like,
It
here
was
we go again.
no. He just cut off a little bit. But I get what he's saying. I think
Yeah.
one of those things where when it comes to movies, um, I think that it's
I
not
think
the
that's
audience's job to enjoy a movie. It's the people producing the movie's job to convince you that the movie's going to be good. So
yeah,
if I'm not sold on a movie, then I'm just not going to watch it.
yeah.
And
But
that can
he
be for
makes a
multiple
good point
reasons.
though. Having a wait and see attitude is fair,
Yeah, I
and
think that's fair.
I think even because like I think that's part of why Superman probably isn't hitting bigger numbers in its opening weekend, because a lot of people were listening to a lot of negative reviews instead of just going in blind and having to wait and see, you know. So there is that element. The question is it that significant? I think it is, because there's a lot of bad blood between the audience, the general audience, and Hollywood, and it's unfortunate, but it's
Welcome back.
Oh yeah, sorry about that. Yeah,
no problem, no problem.
yeah,
No
my bad.
worries.
But I agree. Like I just have to, like, I don't know. I have to see what's going on. I have to see, like,
No,
all
that's
right,
fair.
what are they trying to do with this? Because I know a lot of people are very like anti MCU right now because of certain choices that the MCU has made. But I kind of like me personally, I kind of knew that the MCU was going to be going in this direction based on what's been going on with like just everything. And I understand people not liking certain shows and certain movies and certain characters. But at the same time, it's like, guys, at the end of the day, it's here to stay. You don't have to watch it, you don't have to like it,
Well,
but
here's the thing.
it
Right.
is what it
Yeah.
is.
And
But
I
that's the thing, and a lot of people aren't watching it, which is why a lot of these shows aren't doing well, right?
Hmm.
But then the problem is when certain people get on and they accuse people of or you're being misogynistic or something or racist and it's like, well, no, it's objectively bad. Like people objectively just don't like it. And I think
Right.
we got to
And
get
nothing's
back
wrong with that.
and this is what's beautiful about Superman right now is that because it doesn't have really anything like that, right?
Hmm.
It's just a new movie and it's based on this guy's vision, right? His interpretation of Superman, and he checked certain boxes in regards to the character and the mythos, and so people are split not because of woke something or DEI this or that, but because I'm a fan, but I like this iteration of Superman, and I'm a fan, I like this iteration, right? I like the Zack Snyder cut, and I like right, and that's beautiful to me. The fact that whether you like the movie or you hate the movie, right? Either way, the movie is standing on its own. It has nothing to do with what we've been dealing with over the last over almost 2 decades now, where people were injecting their agendas into a lot of movies and stories.
Hmm.
Versus here, it's like James Gunn's like, look, I'm just trying to tell a
A
cool
story.
story about Superman and make him as relevant as possible and have fun with this and introduce all these cool elements of Superman's mythos and throw in some extra heroes, right? Like he kind of threw in the kitchen sink with this movie.
Yeah.
And some will argue
And
but
I'm like,
and some will say I wanted more, right? And I'm in the
and
camp
that's
where I
yeah,
kind of wanted more.
yeah,
Like
same.
I
Like
don't
I
mind
wanted
the
more.
extra heroes. I don't mind that, but give us more. Give us more. I look, if you got to do a 3 hour movie, bro, like seriously, just make it good. Just give us a good story. Give us,
Yeah.
and if that means 3 hours or over 3 hours, and you're throwing in the kitchen sink, and we got, like we got maybe more heroes and more Mr. Terrific scenes and all that. I'm here for it. I don't have any issue with it. It's a Superman movie. Like you can
Hmm.
go as far as you want to go. Like anything's probably alien invasions, all that stuff. And it feels like he tried to kind of do that, where you got this really deep, intricate, convoluted plot from Lex Luthor that has all these layers, and third act everything comes unraveled, right, and we start, oh man, look at this, look at that. It's really awesome, and I enjoyed that aspect of me. Like once you got to the second act and beyond, it was a roller coaster, and to me it was fun. I enjoyed it immensely.
And one thing I really like too is that I like how he does this thing where in a lot of shows and movies they'll tell you, "Oh, we're going to do this," and then they like go through the whole plan of doing this. Whereas in James Gunn's thing, it's like, "Oh, they released a distraction, and then the next distraction, like okay, he's like, oh, I'm gonna go here, take care of this, and he's like, we're gonna release a distraction, and he's like, that's a small distraction. He's like, it'll get bigger,
It'll
and
get
then the
bigger.
next
Yeah,
scene, he's already fighting the kaiju. Like we don't see the build up to it. I'm like, good, we don't need to. We've already
Yeah.
yeah,
established,
that's a fair point.
you
Yeah,
know,
yeah, I
and
thought
I
that was
and I
interesting too, because
and I
it's
feel like.
like, yeah, it
And I
was
feel like
fun,
more movies need to do that because it's like instead of if
especially
you
this
tell
kind of
me,
movie. Yeah, it was
yeah,
good pacing.
yeah, like
Good
if
pacing
you
in that sense.
the
Yeah,
pacing I thought was fine. I thought the
Yeah.
pacing was perfect. I not one point in the movie it had an issue. Another thing
and I'm
too.
hoping that we'll get some deleted scenes and or extended,
Oh, we will. Oh,
stuff
we
like
will. I know we will. And
that.
another thing too about the movie that I really enjoyed was the moment where like Clark comes home and Lois is waiting for him. And like there's a
Yeah.
monster and they're like, oh, you were helping them? And he's like, I was trying to, but they got it. And I'm like, good. I like a Superman that's willing to just
Yeah,
trust his
That was
friends.
funny.
yeah, it was. That was actually good
Like
because that
I
scene
like
played out entirely different in my mind when I saw the trailer. And then when I saw the movie, I'm like, oh, that's all it is.
I
Yeah.
didn't think
Oh
I
wow.
was like, okay, I'm fine with this because this is a Superman who's willing to trust his allies to take care of situations
Yeah,
for him,
yeah, that
and
was
then not only that, but again, it's earned in the third act when they go and save like the
Yeah, when
you
they
know
say the
the
country, yeah.
yeah.
the country because he can't be there in two places. So
Right.
that's another thing. It's like nothing was to me wasted because he legit set that up to show, hey, they got it taken care of. And then in the third act, they trust him enough. Like they go and be like, you know what, we gotta do something. He's busy
Yeah.
taking care of this. we gotta take care of that. And another thing too, I want to bring up. Everybody's like, "Oh, you got his ass kicked a lot in the movie." I'm like, "Yes," because he fought himself. But also another thing, I find like people are like, "Oh, they want a Superman that's really strong and not getting his ass kicked." In the Christopher Reeves movie, he didn't really fight much.
Yeah,
In Man of Steel, he fought a military general that should have kicked his ass.
That's
Because
right.
again,
yeah.
Zod,
That was one
like
of my
Zod,
criticisms. Yeah,
like
it's like there's no
Zod,
way he would have won that fight. No way.
No,
yeah, like Zod
I would
is
have killed him.
a
Superman and
mili-
Man of
a,
Steel had zero training, zero
right,
experience fighting.
right, none,
They never set
none.
that up. So he's gonna
Mhm.
fight Zod and win? Get out of here,
No.
Exactly. And then like everybody wants to harp on Man of Steel. Yes, Man of Steel had some okay moments, but
man. It did. The
to
Smallville fight
me,
scene is epic. It's a
yeah,
great.
but to me, I think the James Gunn moment, the James Gunn Superman movie is leagues above because I look, Henry Cavill, yes, he didn't get a fair shot, and it does suck what happened with his Superman. But at the
Yeah,
same time, I also feel like the script surrounding that movie and how they portrayed Superman, every scene Henry Cavill literally just looks like he does not want to be there. You never
Yeah,
really see him.
especially
You
in
never,
Batman versus Superman. Yeah,
yeah,
that was
you never really see him smile. You never really see him like
well, you never
save a
see him
bunch
be
of
Superman.
human.
Yeah,
Yes, he's
yeah.
not, and that's the thing. He's not Superman. In the Christopher Reeves movies, it's like yes, you get the dorky Clark and you get
Yeah.
the cool Superman.
It's a nice balance between seeing Clark Kent in the day to day, and then seeing Superman in his day to day, and then obviously the adventure builds up into the big villain, whether it's Lex Luthor or whoever.
right.
It's just well. That's why those movies work so well. They were perfectly
Right.
crafted. They were written very well, and they were
Yeah.
shot very well. The
But
pace.
people, but unfortunately, people complain about those movies because oh, not enough action. Oh, it's boring. Oh, this and that. They're not perfect, but
because
they're but
because they've gotten numb to it, right? Because those
right.
movies, Christopher Reeves, the Richard Donner movies, they're dated. They're old,
They
and they've
are.
seen
They
it over
are.
and
They
over
are
and over
dated.
again. So it's easy to say, oh well, it's not enough action. It's like, well, look, at the time, especially as a 10, 9, 10, 11-year-old kid, your eyes are popping out of your head watching that movie. You
Hmm.
were like, yo, that's Superman in real life,
Yeah,
right? Not Super Friends, not the comic book. Like there's a man in the suit and he's flying, and you're thinking, how are they doing that?
like there are
Yo, he,
screenshots of like the behind the scenes of that movie where if he had no context that there was a Superman movie that existed, he would just be like, is that Superman lifting a car? You know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
catching the helicopter. Like, come on, man. There's a lot of great moments in those movies, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's like it's easy in retrospect. Like hindsight is always 2020, right? So you look back, you're like, ah, they should have did this. It's like sure, but for the time and with the budget and the effects and everything, it's a masterpiece, and I think a lot of fans more than not see it that way, that yeah,
Hmm.
this was epic, peak Superman right here. And every movie that came after that is trying to measure up to those Richard Donner movies, especially the first one. They really are. And everybody, whether you want to admit it or not, you're comparing every Superman movie with the Richard Donner movies. Period. Like
Hmm.
it is the gold standard. Not just we're not comparing like beat for beat, and we're not comparing like maybe uniform, right? But what we're comparing is how does it make us feel when we
Yeah.
watch this iteration of Superman? How does it make us feel? Does it give us those goosebumps we got watching the Richard Donner movies the first time as kids? It's the same with Star Wars. We're always going to measure those first three stars, especially the first one. Again, everything is against that measurement. And if it doesn't hit those notes, it doesn't hit those emotional beats,
Yeah.
we're like it's garbage. We don't like it. It's subpar. It's right. That's just how it is, and it's just a testament to the quality of the storytelling back then, and the effort put into it, and the production value. It's like you can say it's dated, and that's fine. I get that, but the reality is, it's like same with Indiana Jones, same with a lot of these great IPs that we kind of take for granted today. It's like those are the gold standards, man, and
Yeah, they are. They
Yeah.
are
I don't know
absolutely.
and I gotta say, with this iteration, it's almost there. I feel like it could have really. It's very to me. It's close, way closer than Man of Steel for sure.
Way closer.
I personally for me, I think I personally feel like it's there. To me, it did exactly what I wanted for a Superman movie. Yes, there are some things that could they could add later on, but it's like, look, for the first attempt, and for James Gunn, someone who's used to writing those cynical, funny
Yeah,
type
right,
movies and
right.
all that, he did a great job with Superman. I told people
Yeah, fair
that
enough.
James Gunn was a great fit, but nobody can tell me, oh, well, who do you want to do it? Or who do you want? No one can say why. I've had this conversation with many people. No one can tell me why they hate James Gunn other than, oh, comedy. And it's so stupid when you have those people who are like, he doesn't know how to put heart or anything in his movies.
Oh, that's not
Not
true.
Yeah, I
They
did
know.
didn't
you
watch
not did you
Guardians of the Galaxy 2
Yeah,
yeah,
right.
thank you.
or 3.
2 and 3. Okay, so that so
Yeah,
that so that so that thing's out the window. And then he's like, oh, but they can never tell me
Yeah,
who would they have direct the movie. And of
yeah.
course they'll probably
I never doubted. I was just
hey,
skeptical.
hey, and look, here's the other thing too. People are gonna say things like during interviews and doing so many different like things that may sound controversial. Like the whole Johnny Storm's not a woman person. But in the trailers and from what I've seen, Johnny legit feels like he is in the comics. He's very
Mhm.
jokey. He's very like, oh wow, the Silver Surfer, she's hot. Like,
yeah,
all this other
yeah.
stuff. Like Johnny feels like he like Ben in the comics. That version of Ben that we're seeing feels like Ben, the gentle giant. That's
Yeah,
strong. Sue to me in the movie feels like Sue, a kind and caring mother, but a powerhouse. It's Reed I need to see how Odu is going to
yeah. I
have with
agree.
Reed. I need to see that because everything else, I'm like, okay, cool. And it's funny how you have just these certain groups of people who are just like, oh, this is going to be bad. Oh, this is going to be bad because this character's in it. Who would you have play these characters then? Who would you have write this story? If you, because let me see your work. Let me see what you have written. Let me see what you have done so I can criticize it and tear it apart like you do for other people's stuff. That's just how I be feeling because it's like put your money where your mouth is. If you said you could write these things better than the people who are working on them, then go ahead, put your money where your mouth is. Show me your story. Show me your
Fair
talent.
enough. Fair enough. Fair enough.
You
So
know,
so
because
I agree to a certain extent. I think at the end of the day, though, and a lot of people are going to give you a solution to their non-existent problem. At the same time, though, is that it's not the audience's job to like the movie. It's the people producing the movie's job to convince people that the movie is worth watching.
oh, of
And
course, and I feel like that's a Hollywood problem. They don't know how to market things. They don't know how to just really do a good job at really doing anything anymore like they used to. I mean, they're
yeah,
struggling with a lot of stuff, and it does suck. I mean, a lot of shows come out nowadays, and I agree with what James Gunn said about the reason like it's not superhero fatigue. It's just people don't have finished scripts. They don't have finished stories really thought
yeah,
out and
people are
It's
planned.
yeah,
bad storytelling.
yeah. It's
They
bad.
wanna they wanna they wanna rush they wanna rush everything out because they want to play catch up to all these big names. And it's like, well, look at what these
It's
big names did to get to that point.
it's a
It took
combination
time.
of that and a
That's
lot of these stories written by people that never liked comic books or superheroes in the first
yeah,
place.
yeah,
Okay, so here's the thing about that. Now here's up. There are writers who have worked on stuff who have never read the source material or knew nothing about it and have still produced good stuff. I mean, I've talked to a couple of like people like that when I go to
Hmm.
cons, and they're like, oh, like Hugh Jackman, for example. Hugh Jackman knew nothing about X-Men or Wolverine or anything like that, but he is a great job at playing
yeah. He's
characters.
Yeah,
I
totally
mean, all
yeah,
all
I
all
agree.
the all the Marvel actors did not know about the characters they were playing prior to being cast in these
You're right.
roles,
Well, I'm not
and
talking
they
about the writers. I'm not talking about the actors though. I'm talking about the people writing the
yeah,
stories.
actual writers, and I
well,
mean,
I
look,
also
I don't think you have to necessarily. I think you should if you're writing existing characters to
mhm,
get a sense of the lore behind it, but it's not necessary if you have the gist of it. But a
right.
lot of times, write. Listen, writers are artists, and artists want to produce their vision. And
Mm.
so a lot of times their mentality is, I don't need to read the source material. I have a vision for this idea, so I'm going to follow that. And look, it could be hit or miss, right? And I think the problem from the perspective of a lot of fans and audiences is that it's been more miss than hit.
I
And
just I just feel I just feel like we kind of I personally, this is just me personally, I feel like we give these people way too much shit for trying to make something that either yes has already been made. I rather see again, I'm the type of person I rather see someone do their original stuff than like take an existing IP and do something like that. Because here's the thing:
I agree.
how many Supermans are we gonna get? Millions. How many Batmans? How many
right,
He-Mans? We're gonna
right.
get millions and millions and millions of stuff. I rather judge you based on your original work. Say what you will about Vizzy Pop. I may not care for Hell of a Boss. I do think the story is not great, but hey, she did it. She made her own work. She put it
Mhm.
out there for the world to see, and like
Yeah, there's a
she doesn't know
dedicated fan base.
Yeah,
she doesn't know how to take criticism, but she did her own thing.
yeah, but that's beside
And
that's beside the point. But yeah,
and
you're
I and I
absolutely right.
and that's another thing too. When you're making something, it's gonna get criticized. But you
Yeah,
have to be willing to be smart in how to ignore certain criticisms, but also take certain criticisms to heart to improve
yes,
your work.
For
I
sure.
am a
exactly,
writer. I am a
exactly.
comic book writer. I myself am inspired by a lot of stuff I grew up with. Ben 10, Generator X,
Mhm.
freaking
Oh, I love
Gargoyles,
Yeah,
the DC anime universe, the Marvel like Avengers vs. Mighty Heroes, Spectacular Spider-Man. Those are the things that I put into my writing. But I always go back and rewatch those shows and go, okay, what made this work? What did they do
that.
to
Absolutely.
really make this stick with audiences for as long as it did? And I feel like again, that's so important when creating anything. Explain your process, explain like what your inspirations are, explain where you're coming from as a storyteller, and then ignore everything else and just put it to pen and pencil and just keep it going because I just feel we all just want to tell our story and leave our mark on the world in some way, shape, or form. But at
yeah,
the same
For
time,
sure.
I always say this: nerds have become the bullies. We have become the very thing that we hate, and our criticism, our way of looking at things through a certain lens and wanting it to be like just like the original. To me, I feel like that's boring. I rather do something different to shake it up. Not too drastically different, but different enough to where it's still recognizable, but also really different to where it's fun and interesting. But
yeah,
guys,
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to cut this short. I have to
No, that's
go.
fine. Yeah,
No worries.
I
We
just want
appreciate
I
your time.
no no I would definitely love to come back on again next week or so to talk because again I feel like as a creator, just like you guys are, I feel we need to focus less on the stuff that's coming out and focus more on what we're trying to create. So that way, when we make our stuff, we can then see how the audience reacts.
yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
It's not the same when you're on a, what did it say? It ain't no fun when the rabbit's got the gun. So when you're
Hmm.
on the other side receiving the criticism, it's a different story, right?
Yeah.
So,
All
but
right,
yeah, man,
guys.
thanks for joining us. I appreciate it, man. Love your insight, and yeah, we'll do this again.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, have a good day. Have
Be
a super
safe.
galactic Saturday.
Thanks, guys. Be safe, y'all.
All right, you too. Be safe. And yeah, we're gonna wrap it up. I appreciate Ashton for joining us, and I appreciate his comments. And yeah, a lot of good points made.
Absolutely.
And listen, we're going to keep talking about Superman for as long as it's relevant because it's a very interesting time right now. Because, like I said, it's somewhat refreshing because we're arguing about the substance of the movie itself and not about the politics and all this nonsense and the
Yeah.
personalities and oh, this actor is a communist or so, like who cares? It's like is the movie good? That's it. So
Yeah.
and speaking of which, check out our site, supergalacticfantastic.com. Go there, sign up to our email list, and you'll get a free digital comic, full color, 12 pages. And read it and check it out. It introduces you a little bit to Alphatron and one of our primary characters. We got many more characters to come. We're working on a big Rush story as well, and we also got a campaign coming soon. So we hope you'll come and support us, come up alongside us, and help us get this done. And yeah, give us your criticism when you read that 12-page comic. Feel free to reach out to us through Twitter and X, or just comment at the end of the comic. It's on Global Comics, so it has like a little rating system at the end. So feel free to rate it, and we'll appreciate your feedback and your input because we want to give you the best possible product possible. Like, we want to give you a great comic to read and be entertained by. So that's our goal here. And thank you for joining us today. Have a super galactic Saturday.
We'll see you around.